Heartbreak has to be one of the worst feelings a person can ever experience, if not the worst feeling. The reason breakups are so hard is because it's like an addiction. And I'm not just making this up, this is actual facts. You deal with withdrawals, you're literally addicted to this person. You've been with this person every day for however long, you experience being with them, and then suddenly it's ripped from you. And suddenly you can't sleep, you can't eat, you're crying, you're begging, you're screaming. I get it. I've been there. I have been extremely heartbroken to the point where I feel like I'm dying. It is all normal, but I'm here for you because I have this experience. I've made tons of mistakes, and I want to share that with you so that you don't make the same mistakes and you're able to get over it more efficiently. So you got broken up with, or you got cheated on, or you got ghosted, or simply you're just going through a breakup and it really, really hurts. The first phase is grieving and coping. It is the hardest phase. I think we all struggle through this phase. Our brains aren't thinking clearly, like we are not being rational with any choice that we make. But it is so important. It is so important to be self-aware, because some of the things that we do when we are dealing with heartbreak and breakups, we later on regret. And that regret comes pretty quickly, I feel like, and it's the worst. That's just dealing with the consequences of our actions. So we are not going to post on Instagram. And what I mean by that is that you can tell when somebody's going through a breakup. You can tell when they're posting quotes and they're posting different songs and they're posting pictures of themselves and blah blah blah. You can tell when someone's going through a breakup. I have done this. I have done this several times. This person is probably watching because that's the point, right? You are posting all this because you want them to see how sad you are. Don't do it. Be normal. You can post on Instagram. Just post like you always post. However, the first step is to feel your feelings. You need to cry. You're gonna cry. You're going to sob into your pillow. You're going to reflect, which means you can't distract yourself by doing unhealthy things like drinking, like partying, and most importantly, do not distract yourself with new people and new hookups. Everybody has their own timeline when it comes to breakups, and that is totally okay, but I feel like immediately when people break up, a lot of times they want to forget about their ex by hooking up with somebody new and going on dates and just going batshit crazy insane. And that's because you think that's gonna make you feel better, but it's actually the opposite. It's gonna make you feel so much worse about yourself. These aren't genuine connections you're making with people. You're aware that you're only doing this because you want to forget your ex. I know in the recent years, we as a society have said that sex is just sex. Sex is not important, like you can do whatever you want, which I mean technically it's true, you can do whatever you want, but I have to disagree with saying that sex is just sex and that it doesn't mean anything. And I don't say this from a place of judgment, I say this from a place of experience. I have tons of experiences with trying to distract myself from breakups and going for people that are just temporary, that I know it's not a genuine connection. The only thing that these experiences and these hookups and these dates ever did for me was make me feel very bad about myself, because I let people into my life that didn't actually value me. If the intention is to get over someone and that's why you're going after somebody else, and like you know this, it's not gonna work, and you're gonna be doing that for nothing because you're still not gonna forget your ex. I went through a breakup during quarantine, and even though I feel like the beginning was the healthiest for me because I literally had to quarantine, I couldn't go out, I couldn't party, I couldn't drink, I literally had to sit there and deal with my feelings and feel my feelings. I also around this time started listening to a very popular podcast back in 2020. I think even now it's very popular, but back then this podcast was focused on girls doing crazy shit, and it was not healthy. That was literally my girl Bible. Everything that they said, I applied it to my life, and I ended up regretting that a lot. The longer you distract yourself with other people and with unhealthy coping mechanisms, the longer it's actually going to take you to get over it. And you don't want to give this person the satisfaction of being stuck on them forever. Here's what you're going to do. The next step, block. Block, remove, delete, whatever you need to do to not see this person. If you can't block, delete them. Delete them off social media. You will be doing yourself a disservice by keeping them around, because you know every time you see them, it's gonna send you into a spiral. You're gonna want to reach out. This also comes with going no contact. You don't need closure. You don't need a last conversation. You don't need any of that. In the last video, I said I believe in the saying fake it till you make it, and this honestly applies here too, because the best revenge is disappearing and pretending to be stronger than you actually feel. And maybe that sounds counterproductive because you don't want to do anything for this person, you want to do it for yourself, but this is for yourself. You're gonna fake it until you make it, and then you're gonna make it. And this doesn't mean you don't care, but once the last conversation happens, once you are already broken up, you need to pick yourself up and carry on, because life goes on. And you might be watching this video and being like, I already reached out. I already posted the stuff on Instagram, which is okay. Forgive yourself. That's a big part of this, is forgiving yourself for your mistakes, because we are not perfect. But starting right now, you're going no contact. One of the most helpful tips that I learned in other breakups with going no contact is writing everything down that you want to say. Every time you get an urge to reach out to this person because you want to know what they're doing, you want to know how they are, you write it down on paper, not in your notes app, not on your phone, on paper, because it is so easy to copy and paste that and send it and be like, it. You're gonna write it on a piece of paper, and then guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna burn it, you're gonna throw it away, you're gonna rip it up, you're gonna do whatever, but out of sight, out of mind. You already wrote those feelings down, and you're gonna realize by the end of it that you shouldn't send that. That sounds ridiculous, and you're gonna regret it. I'm gonna tell you a story that's probably gonna make you cringe so hard that you're gonna forget about yourself for a minute. And I am sacrificing my own integrity for this because I want you to feel better about yourself. Once upon a time, I was going through a breakup. And I will say this breakup was a long time ago with a guy that literally did not deserve my time or my peace. But it was a very sudden breakup. I felt very blindsided. And he literally broke up with me and then ghosted me. We literally went no contact, which was for the best. But I did something very, very bad. It had been about a month since we last spoke. I emailed him. And not just any email. I emailed him a letter of how badly I was suffering. And I'm telling you this because you don't want to be that person. You are going to be better than me in that moment. And I will say, I forgave myself for it. Like, I'm totally over that situation. But I will never live that down. That is so embarrassing. Next, just because you're not going out partying and drinking doesn't mean you're going to isolate yourself, because I don't think that's ever healthy. One of the most helpful things is to surround yourself with people that care about you. And real friends will not make you feel like a burden. Real friends will listen to you. Real friends will be there to listen to you over and over and over about the same thing, because they know how bad you're struggling. They know that you are suffering, you're grieving. They're gonna cuddle with you, they're gonna bring you snacks, they're gonna help you heal. And a huge thing that I actually just heard on TikTok, this is her and her username, all credit goes to her, but this was so helpful, and the fact that I saw it today was like, I have to talk about this. She talks about the 90-day dinner. And this applies to any feeling, any emotion that you have, anything you're struggling with. But in this video, we're gonna apply it to breakups. Essentially what it is you are going through a breakup and you're gonna text your friends. You're gonna text the group chat, all your girls, and you're gonna say, hey, I'm gonna schedule a 90-day dinner, meaning that you are really struggling right now with this breakup, and you're gonna schedule this dinner in 90 days. So 3 months from now, you're gonna put it in your calendar, you're gonna say 90-day dinner, and in 90 days you're all gonna go to dinner and you're gonna check in and you're gonna talk about how differently you feel than you did 90 days ago. And this is so helpful, because emotions are fleeting. Nothing is permanent. And that's something we struggle to understand in a moment like this, when we're really struggling with heartbreak. You think it's gonna last forever. But I just love the idea of this, that in 90 days you are going to go to dinner with your friends, or your one friend, or your mom, and you're gonna say, I was really struggling when I texted that, and I realize now that I'm doing so much better and I'm still breathing, I'm still alive. Okay, so you did all the necessary things to start coping with your breakup. You felt your feelings, you blocked, you've got no contact, you have a strong support system, you have healthy coping mechanisms, and now you're thinking about them again and you want to know how they are. You want to know how they are. You want to reach out and you want to say, hey, like, thinking about you, hope you're well, because you're wondering what they're doing, who they're with, are they giving anybody else attention? Stop. Here's the thing, the hard truth, and something you need to desperately hear. They chose not to be with you. They're actively choosing to not speak to you every day. And this might suck to hear, but they might not even be thinking about you at all. And that feeling is gut-wrenching, but it's also necessary to hear, because you don't want to be with somebody that isn't 100% sure about you. And you just have to be so real with yourself. Is this person what you want? Because you have standards, because you know your worth now, and you know that even though you miss this person, there's no going back. You are not going back to a place of hurt. It's so easy that after a breakup, you only think about all the good times. You feel very nostalgic. A big tip here is that when you feel like this, write a list. Write a list of all of the things that sucked, all their icks, and you're going to consult this every time you want to reach out, every time you think about them. And you're gonna look at this list and you're gonna be like, ew, that's not what I want. The reality is that although breakups suck so much, they're also really good, because it's the start of something new. It is the start of a new chapter for you. This chapter is closed, it is done, and you are going to continue growing. And this happens by putting energy back into yourself. Genuinely, I think that is the best part about a breakup. After every single breakup, I've only gotten hotter and smarter and wiser, because nothing is more motivating than a breakup. I'm sorry. And you're gonna put energy back into yourself by going to the gym. You're gonna get hotter and you're going to get smarter. You're gonna start reading books and you're gonna eat healthier. And I'm a hobby girl. I love hobbies, and I always pick up a new hobby after a breakup or after literally any inconvenience in my life, because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel productive. And this is not to get them back, so let's not get that twisted. You might say to yourself, okay, this is like my revenge, because what's better? What's better than literally getting hotter? But eventually you're gonna realize that the more you do this, the more consistently you put energy back into yourself, the better you're gonna feel. And you're gonna be like, I am so hot, this person does not deserve me. I know this is a time of huge change, but change can be so good, and you're gonna have new experiences. You're gonna get to meet new people. So we welcome heartbreak with open arms, because it is a time to evolve. It is so important to know that this process is different for everyone, but the more that you practice these tips, the easier and faster it'll be for you to get over it and start a new life. Because the worst thing you can do is hang on to something that is no longer serving you, someone that doesn't value you, and you're limiting yourself. That being said, it is also so normal to make mistakes. It is so normal, and it's okay. Forgive yourself. All that matters is that you're trying, you're putting in the effort, and if all else fails, I am here for you. That is it for this video, guys. Thank you for coming. This is the final look. A little bit off topic, but I do want to say that I linked a gift guide that I made, because it is gift guide season, and it's tiny. It's all of my favorite things if you do want to check it out. But thank you so much for watching. I love you, and I'll see you again in my next video.